Alice Lineberry, work for DLA Piper in Austin, do primarily patent litigation. I've worked with DLA, I guess, about 8 years now, and it's a great firm, and really enjoy the attorneys I work with. They're a good group of attorneys, bright, make the job interesting and challenging. I think we have offices in maybe over 60 countries. We were at one time one of the largest firms in the world. I think since electronic discovery, there's been lots of changes. Prior to that, we produced everything pretty much in paper format. We would have war rooms of binders and binders of paper. And we still have a little bit of that. There's still some attorneys who like the paper, but most of them are going to electronic. And so we use TERIS to help us comply with the federal rules and to produce documents electronically. I think it's just all going to continue with the electronic stuff. I don't think we're going back to paper. I think eventually state court's probably going to have similar rules that they have in federal court. Everything's going to be produced electronically. I had one probably 4 years ago, and I think we probably had 300-400 binders of documents. I don't recall the number of pages, but we had probably about 400 binders, and then we also had a bunch of. The other side produced probably 5-6 DVDs with data there at the last minute, and we gave those to TERIS to put in a reviewable format for us. And so there was a bunch of documents in that case. It was very quick, and they were very helpful. Those CDs were produced after the discovery deadline, so we worked closely with TERIS because we were seeking sanctions against the other side. To try to recover our costs. We ended up having to hire outside counsel to help review the documents because they were produced a couple months before trial. And so we worked very closely with TERIS in determining the number of pages produced and exactly the format and what type of documents were produced and how many were duplicates, how many weren't. And so they were very helpful in assisting us with the court in getting sanctions against the other side. I worked with Elijah for quite a while. I've known Elijah probably about 6 years and found him to be very reliable. Give him a deadline, he will produce it when we say we need it. And that's important. Right? When the attorneys say they need it by a certain day, we need to get it by that day. Otherwise, it's bad news for us. I think y'all are reliable. We like that we get a bid up front, and so at the end there are no surprises. You know exactly what it is we need, and in the end we get the perfect product, just exactly what we asked for. I would say, definitely look around, get bids from vendors. Don't always go with the lowest price, and check with others. Find out how well known they are in the community. I think TERIS has a very good reputation in Austin, and I think that's important. I think it's good for paralegals to be involved in their paralegal association. I think it's a good networking tool. It's a good place to meet vendors. Learn as much as you can about electronics, about the different databases. I know there are a lot of databases out there, so just learn as much as you can about eDiscovery, the process. There's lots of things involved, and easy ways to mess that up, and that's why we call the experts like you, so we don't go in and mess up the metadata. So there's just a lot to learn. So the more you can learn, the better off you are.